Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Princess of Aesthetically Princess, and today we are back with another video. If you are new here, then you don't know me, but I am Princess. Here on this channel, I usually do a multitude of things, going from hair care to skincare to journaling, and today we're doing art. So if you don't know, today is like the middle, like getting still in the beginning of November, but like not really getting into it. And upcoming at the moment, we are going through like the election times and that, but with of course the beginning of November and things like that, it means that October of course is officially over, which means Inktober is over. So if you don't know what Inktober is, we're going to explain it more later in the video, but this completely means that I have done Inktober for officially 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, like 4 years, 3 years. 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. 4 years of Inktober for me. And today we're going to be talking about my Inktober experiences for the past 4 years and comparing all of them as I go through. Of course, as they go through, I will be showing different pictures that I've done over the years and showing you guys how I've improved and what I've learned from it. So let's get into this video. Sorry, it's early in the morning and I needed my coffee. But anyways, so first of all, what is Inktober? Inktober is a event that started in 2009, mainly to be able to show you guys like how to use a different medium for an entire month. It kind of helps you with a new medium. It's basically and mainly ink. There's all types of inks in the world that you can order online or find in like a craft store or an art supply store, and then you can use them to draw art, especially if you're not a person that uses ink often. It's good for you to learn a new medium. Now Inktober is something that has become a lot more big in the recent years, mainly because of social media, and it's a lot bigger on social media, as in it trends, like it does this thing where it trends on a daily basis, usually for the different days. Now when it first started, there was just a set list by one person who started it. I think his name is Jake, I can't remember correctly, but I think his name is Jake, but he started it, and he would give out a set prompt list for the entire month of October, and for the entire month of October you would have to use, each day would have a different prompt, and you'd have to draw something based on that prompt. For example, if I am a portrait artist and that day is like book, I would have to go look up references and things like that to kind of embody that day, kind of something that just pops off in my head and I'm like, this would look good in my art style for the day book. Now over the years, like I said, it's gotten a lot more popular, specifically because of social media. It's popped off on social media where you can post different pictures from every day, and it's a good way to grow your account. There's all types of benefits for this, which we'll talk about later, and different types of downsides, but let's get into the main basis. So Inktober's main idea is for you to use ink as a material to draw every single day for the month of October. Now this sounds like a hard thing, and it kind of is, but after a while, once you've done it a few times, you kind of get into I'm gonna say a rhythm when you've done it for several years. Of course, those first few years can be so hard on you. Like I said, there's a lot of downsides, and there's a lot of tips I'm going to end up giving you, because I've done it for 4 years, and I've had 4 different experiences of just different ways that this has both benefited me and like hurt me. It's a very interesting concept. But like I said, one of the biggest benefits of this entire thing is it helps you grow your account. So let's talk. First things first, over the 4 years that I have been doing Inktober, it has been a very interesting time. I started doing Inktober in 2017. I had just really gotten onto social media. I had never been on social media like that beforehand. I kind of enjoyed mostly Tumblr and Twitter. It kind of is really big on mostly Instagram and Twitter. It's big on Tumblr as well, but over the years, since Tumblr has kind of gone down and like its kind of value to its customers, it kind of has just been more of an Instagram and Twitter kind of thing personally. And because, again, like I said, 2017 was the year I actually started using social media as a way to express myself, it became something a lot bigger because you'd see a lot more. So like I said, there is an official Inktober account. I'm not gonna link it because the person that made Inktober has a very large controversy around him due to the way he treats Inktober after creating it. So I'm not going to link that account, but if you'd like to look it up, of course, you can just type in Inktober on Instagram, and an app will show up the different Inktobers over the years, and they usually repost some of the art from the Inktober list. But usually they come out with an official list for the month of October. But because everything that's happened over the years, a lot of other people have ended up making their own lists, which is something that I did in my second year. So I made a list in my second year and tried to stick to it, but because I was all over the place and I wanted to do different people's, lists and things like that, I ended up kind of just being overwhelmed and kind of everywhere at once. So it kind of just, my pages in my Instagram for my second year just ended up looking a little weird. The first year I did Inktober, I was a leisure. I didn't post it on social media. I didn't have a social media account specifically for my art either, so it wasn't something that I posted on a daily basis or at all, really. So 2017, I wasn't posting, especially because I was also working at the time, so I would just do it just at home and things like that, and I'll post some of those pictures here. So this is what my first Inktober looked like. It was just every day I kind of just drew using ink. And again, this is a good way for you to learn how to use a new medium, especially if you are not also just doing ink. You can always do watercolors or markers or whatever medium that you are, of course, comfortable with, and then just use that prompt list as a just everyday prompt for you to expand your drawing. So first year was very, very relaxing for me because, again, I didn't follow a list and I wasn't posting on social media. Now the second year, I had just, really started getting into having my own social media account, which I started in 2018. In June of the beginning of the year 2018, I opened my art social media account. But at the time, I was also working to open my personal account, which I ended up deleting and then making a new account. So a lot of things have changed over the years because I was trying to keep up content on that account, as well as keep up content on my art account. So trying to run those two for the first time in my life, it was kind of odd. And so when I got to my second year, I decided to get a little ambitious. I made my first ever list, and this is what it looked like. Very interesting list, and I'm not going to say it was the best thing ever, but it was a very simple list. And as you can see, there's only 10 days. There's not 31. I give my hearts out to people that do the 31-day list, that make their 31-day list, but over the years, a lot of people have decided that doing it every day for 31 days can be a lot taxing on you and your art and your followers, because after a while you kind of develop that burnout, or your mental health starts to deplete due to having to post every single day for an entire month and make new art every day. And it's kind of interesting, but like I said, I'll have tips at the end of the video if you are thinking about doing Inktober next year. So I ended up getting a little ambitious. These are some of the art pieces that I actually did of my list, as well as other lists that I found. And it's, again, this is a good way to grow your account and try a new medium. And I'm not as proud of this at all, because it just looks so thrown together. I'm not proud of last year's either, my 2019 either, because again, it looks really thrown together and just frantic in a way. I can say that after a while you do get this really bad sense of burnout, and it gets annoying, it gets upsetting, and then you get really, really sad. As for that year, it kind of just ended up being just a mush of things, and then I ended up giving up a few days in that row. But it overall wasn't too bad, but it was a stark difference from the first time that I did it and the second time I did it, because again, this was just for enjoyment and things like that, and I wasn't posting on social media. But the idea to be able to post every single day of that 31 days is kind of taxing on the brain, so I ended up giving up a few days into it and ended up not enjoying it. So my third year, 2019, it wasn't as bad. I ended up not making a list. I ended up just kind of pulling from different people's lists that I found, and it was a lot more enjoyable because I wasn't trying to keep up with so many lists, but at the same time, I was just doing things that I saw. Oh, I want to do that one because I have an idea for that one. Oh, I want to do that one because I have an idea for that one. Oh, I want to do that because I have an idea for that one. But again, it was still an interesting type of moment. I have this one right here, the sketchbook, actually, which is what I used for that particular month. And what I can say is I ended up not doing as many days. So this is one of the days that I did. Like, I'm going to post more pictures here, but like just pushing through this. I had recently just gotten this particular sketchbook as well, so like the first few pages are here, and decided I was going to be a little bit more wild, and I enjoyed it. And this is kind of like the list that I pulled together of different people who I decided I wanted to do. As you can see, only some of them are crossed off, not all of them. And again, it's just, it can, like I said, it can be taxing on the brain, and as you can see, I kind of gave up after a few days. But I ended up still doing a bunch. Not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of proud of myself. But again, it's a good way to try different materials and get a little creative, get a little indifferent to different forms of art. But again, it can be a little taxing, so it's okay to give up. Again, tips coming at the end of the video. Now for this year, I actually enjoyed this year so much, and I don't know if it's because overall mentally I was in a much better place than I have been for those past 3 years, because mentally I have not been in the best place for a long time, and I'm still not, but I was in a lot better of a headspace this year, and which it shows in your art when you're not feeling very well, or if you are currently going through something outside of your art, because it'll reflect in your art, because you don't have as much, you don't like your art as much, you're kind of not putting as much thought into it, you're not putting as much, you know, love into the things that you're making and drawing and as such, and go on and so forth. But I can say this year was a lot more enjoyable. So one of the things that I did this year was I was making videos for my YouTube channel. So I'm going to leave some of those linked down below. So I picked like 4. I picked a few different lists that I was going off of, but I ended up going with 4. For the first week I did what was it? Blacktober. I did 3 Blacktobers for that week, and then the second week I did Witchtober. The third week I did Coven Are You, and then for the last week of October I ended up doing Mania. And all of those days I ended up enjoying. I ended up enjoying all of those days, except I think some of those I kind of just didn't. I only missed one day, and I wasn't like it wasn't on my brain of, oh my god, I have to post, oh my god, I have to post this thing. Oh, I can miss one day, it'll be fine. It's okay to miss some days, and like I said, I'm going to give you some tips of the overall experience of things that you just should know for something like this. But again, I enjoyed this month, this year 2020. Even though it's been a horrible year, I was in a much better headspace to be able to create art every single day. And again, pick something that's going to like pique your interest. Pick something that's going to pique your interest, because if you just pick a list that you're like, oh, everyone else is doing this particular list, or this is a list from a big artist, then you're not going to enjoy it as much, because you're trying to keep up while trying to compete with other people. Enjoy it in your own way. Get something that you're like, oh yeah, I like this day, and this day, and this day, and this day. And also pick stuff that will still challenge you at the same time. So do something that's still going to challenge you. For example, I did Mania, and one of the days that I did was Harpy, and I can't draw birds, but I kind of pushed myself to draw that bird, and god dang it, I liked it. I still didn't like her, but I spent so long on it that I was upset about it, but at the same time, when I was done, I was like, yeah, I appreciate that. So like I said, if you want to see me go through a bunch of those other videos, I would, like I said, they're linked down below, so go watch them if you want to see the different days, the different prompt lists that I did. So time for the tips part of this video. You've probably been like, girl, what are you talking about? So tip number 1, you don't have to post every day. You're going to feel like you have to, because of course it's 31 days of everyday prompt, but after a while you're going to learn that you're going to have burnout. It's okay to just miss a few days, come back. You can maybe keep redrawing them. It's okay to post a few days and then you keep on your list, miss a few days, keep on your list, and post like day 14 on day 18. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. No one really cares. They're kind of just enjoying what you're putting out, because they like you, they enjoy your art. It's a good way to, you know, kind of just be yourself. It's okay to be busy and then put this list out and things like that. 2, you can find different lists, and you don't have to stay with the same list. You can get like different types of lists from all the different artists that you enjoy. Pick a few days from each artist and kind of just draw on those few days. Cool. You can also find smaller lists that are like, oh, every other day or every 10 days or once a week. There are all types of lists like that. Actually, I'm going to be doing another list at the beginning of December, because someone I follow, she decided to do a princess in lingerie list. So I am going to enjoy that for the first week of December. I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited. You don't even know. 3. This is a good way to grow your account. Only if you really want to. If you're not one to grow your account, that's okay. But this is a good time to grow your account. This is a good time for you to be able to put out art, and for you to put the tags for Inktober on your pieces on social media. People will be following those Inktober tags, just so that whenever you post and you hashtag it Inktober, someone new will find your art and they'll be like, oh, I like this person, let me follow them. So it's a good way to grow your account, whether you're new or you've been here for a while and your account's not as doing as good as you wish it was. Enjoying these events and things like this will grow your account so much bigger, because there are other artists that are going through this kind of tag, and they'll repost your art on their pages, and then people will be like, oh, they like it, I want to see what else they can do, and so on and so forth. So this is a good way to get yourself out there, create new art, so on and so forth. Number 4, use different mediums. You don't have to do ink for Inktober, I promise you. So as you can see, I actually didn't do traditional art. I did all digital art, because this year I promised myself I would try and stick to as much digital art as possible, because I'm new to digital art, and this year I'm using this year to, teach myself digital art and enjoy it. You feel me? You feel me? So again, you don't have to use just ink. You can use markers. I've done a year where I used markers. I've used markers. I've used paint. I've used watercolors, ink. You can do all types of materials, and the good thing is about Inktober that it's been broadened so much that you can use photography, or you can do clay or 3D. Just use any material that you think is an art piece to you, and kind of just create as much as you want. Cool. Number 5, you don't actually have to be following a list. I follow people who don't actually follow lists for this month, and they literally just make a new piece every day just using ink. If you use the ink, it's still a piece, and for Inktober you can just draw and just tag it Inktober, because you're still using ink in the month of October, so I don't really see a problem. I'm just saying. Next thing on the list is take a break. If you feel like you're getting a piece of like a little bit of burnout, just take a break. You'll be fine. I promise you, your mental health comes before your art. It comes before your career. Your mental health comes first. If your mental health is being taxed on by doing this every single day, or having to like post every single day, just let it go. It's not even that serious. Let the bitch go. Next, also going with that, if you are just not in the right headspace and you think that this would just set you back farther, just don't do it. If you feel like you're depressed, or you as an artist are kind of just not in the right headspace to be creating art at this time, even though you want to stick to Inktober, you don't have to. It's not the end of the world if you don't participate in Inktober. There are other years. Every year we do it, so like, maybe if you don't make it this year, you'll make it next year or the year after that, but that's perfectly fine with you. And of course, if you stay on social media often, then you know that if you don't make it in the month of October, you can always do November, which is another kind of event, but it's every day you do a different color. You create a piece based on a different color. And I'm not doing November, but I've seen some people, they have decided to do November, but it's so far there's all types of lists, by the way. I'm going to give you a few. You can do mermaid, so mermaids, draw a mermaid every day of May. Inktober, you can do every day. You can just do an ink-based or Inktober prompt list-based post, or you can do November, which is every day a different color art piece. that just kind of ends up being kind of like a cute colorful rainbow. Or you can, of course, whoever you follow, they may do month-long events. Like I said, the one that I'm doing in December, she's doing princesses in lingerie, so it's only for the month of December. It starts December 1st, and it's 10 days, or you can do 1 a week or like 2 a week. It really does not matter, but there are lists out there for you to kind of pull your creativity, so on and so forth. If you next tip, if you're actually going through burnout, this could help. It kind of sparks a new brainstorming whenever you're feeling really low. So like I said, you can always do Inktober, especially like I said, if you are going through burnout, if you are going through artist block or writer's block or any type of material block, this prompt list will make you go, what would I do for that particular day? And they'll kind of like push new ideas out continuously, and it feels nice. It feels nice to continuously have ideas, because you're not like, oh, here's my art style and I've kind of done everything that I think I can do for my art style. What am I going to do now? Here you go. You can do this list. It does help. I promise you it helps. Next, brainstorm days before. One of the best things I can tell you guys is, if you are doing some of these events and things like that, and they're like month-long events, you can brainstorm days beforehand and go ahead and pull out thumbnails and sketches in your head. For example, at the beginning of for Mermaid, I actually did every 10 days, I would do a sketch page. I would pick those days of prompt list that I was doing, whatever list I was doing for Mermaid. Those first 10 days, I take them and I draw 10 different drawings for each day. So whenever I thought of a day, I did draw up and do sketch, and then when that day came, I would, like, you know, copy and paste that sketch and then just tweak different things as I was going. It's good to do a brainstorming beforehand. You can do a bunch of sketches beforehand. You can even draw like a few days before. If you see one piece that you're just like, ooh, I think I already have an idea specifically for this prompt, days before the prompt even comes, go ahead and draw it. So like when the day actually comes around, you can just post it. And you're not stressed because I'm not finished, I'm not done, I'm not finished, I'm not done. That's okay. Next, you can post multiple days. Honestly, if you are missing like a few days, you can post, like, say you missed day 4, 5, and 6. On day 6, you can post 4, 5, and 6. You can just post like the different days as they go and just enjoy yourself. If you're just going through a night where you're just really bored and you just start drawing, you can draw like 6 different pages and then just post them all on one day. It really doesn't really matter to people, I promise you that one. Next, what was I gonna say? I actually had something I was gonna say and I can't think of it. For Inktober, goodness gracious. If you want to make your own list, make your own list. That's what I was gonna say. If you're gonna make your own list, make something that you think you would be interested in and other people would be interested in, of course, and they could always just use your list. If no one uses your list, that's okay. It's a list you're going off of then. But, you know, if you have a list in mind for Inktober, go ahead and write it up. Go ahead and try it out. Maybe it'll help. Cool. Next, references. You can pull as many references as possible. It's okay if you go online and you just type something in because you have artist block for a day. That's okay. If you see inspiration, draw it out. It's all right to use a reference. You use a reference for other things, why not use a reference for this? So if you're like bored, so if you have a day where you're kind of confused as to what you want to do, say my day is like stick. No, that's not stick. Let's do a day called tea. If I'm confused as to what I want to do for a day that's tea, I can always just type in tea art and then just pull different types of, don't plagiarize. That's not what I'm saying. Don't plagiarize. Pull different references and make an art piece that is purely you, but kind of just based off of different references. It's okay to have a reference for an art piece. Just don't plagiarize. Don't plagiarize. That's just rude. Don't trace, don't plagiarize. That's rude. Next, I think this one is the most important. It's okay to have similar art to someone. I'm gonna put that one out there because I know that people can be like very upset about the idea that someone might be plagiarizing off of you, but guys, it's one day, one word that you're on a list that you're both going off of. Great minds think alike, bruh. So if you have a similar art piece to someone else that you know, that's okay. Maybe just great minds think apart. If you feel like it's too close, maybe ask them. Maybe ask to see a thumbnail. Don't be rude, be very nice. Next on the list, stay active on your social media. If you are participating in Inktober, stay active so that you can be able to, see other people. Go through Inktober, tag yourself, and just repost other people's art, because the other people may be able to see it and they may be able to be like, hey, I like what they drew, can I also follow them? It's a good way to help you grow your account and them grow theirs. You see what I'm saying? This is a symbiotic relationship. Cool, 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 cool. It's okay to be tired too. That's all right. When I talk a lot, I get stuffy. It's okay. But guys, overall, 100%, the main thing about Inktober is enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. If you stop enjoying it, just stop. But if you do enjoy Inktober, try and participate. Stay active as much as possible. Your biggest thing for the month of Inktober is to enjoy drawing. If this kind of just overall event just is so taxing on you, just let it go. You're supposed to be having fun. It shouldn't be stressful in any way. I'm going to tell you that one now. Nothing about this is supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a creative way for you and those around you to be excited about your art, or to get someone else excited about their art. You're an inspiration as much as I'm an inspiration. You're an inspiration. It doesn't matter who you are. You're probably an inspiration to somebody out there. They're probably looking at you and being like, that's my bitch. That's okay. Enjoy yourself. And that's all. So guys, that's all for this video. I have talked a lot. I'm so tired. I will see you guys in the next video. If you want to see those videos that I said that I posted for Inktober, I'm going to leave them down below. Also, if you want to see any of the art pieces that I actually posted for Inktober, you can follow me on all of my social media, which will also be linked down below, including my personal and impersonal Twitters. And if you feel like supporting me in any type of way, you can always be a part of my Ko-fi. Support me on Ko-fi. It's linked all the way at the bottom of the description, and you'll be able to see it. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you feel like you or another person that is also thinking about doing Inktober needs this video, share it or send it to them. Maybe they'll, have something to say. Of course, you can always look up other artists and see what else they have to say about Inktober. And honestly, I'm not the only person here. I promise you, there are other people that have been doing it longer than I have. But this is personally just me over the past 4 years. What I've picked up and what I've figured out. So, if you enjoyed this video, like this video, subscribe. If you like me, I post other videos. If you just don't like our content, that's alright. Turn on the notification bell to see when I post another video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!